him and his wife, they buy storage lockers. So they found this in a storage unit.
You find a lot of things in a storage unit, man.
People put anything and everything into a storage unit. So I don't even know if he knows like the true status of these machines. So I think I'm gonna switch my focus just a little bit here, and I'm going to start collecting arcade machines. Miss Pac-Man and a Pac-Man cocktail machine and an upright Miss Pac-Man machine. I don't really know the status of these machines, working or not working. I am getting them super cheap though.
First on the list, I mean, he calls me up and says, hey, let's go get some cabs because he has a hookup somewhere and it's some Pac-Man, some Miss Pac-Man cabs.
That's a really good game.
He wanted 300 a piece, and then immediately he was like, I'd do 800 for all of them. And you know me. So I was like, well, I'll tell you what. I was like, sight unseen, how about 700? And he was like, can you do 750? I was like, that's a deal. Yeah, well, I'll meet you in the middle on that. I'll split it.
So let's go get them.
Ooh-wee. I'm looking these over, and the cocktail cabs actually look pretty good. I think the Pac-Man is missing a foot on the bottom. That's easy, that can be replaced. The Miss Pac-Man is in a little bit worse shape. Cab's pretty decent. You said you powered them on, or tried to at least?
That one doesn't get power.
That
one's just power.
Okay.
Apparently they're not really working too well. And look, I'm no arcade expert at all. I don't know what the value is on some of these that aren't working versus are working. But nonetheless, you find somebody who can work on these things, then this is probably a really good value. Picking these up on the cheap and fixing them up, and then boom, you got brand new arcades.
I think I'm getting a hell of a deal. We got to get these somewhere we can plug them in and try to figure out what's wrong with them. We're gonna fix this thing up right and make it presentable again.
So he said this was power on, but now the monitor's blue or something?
Yeah, he did. This, he thinks it's the power supply. When it comes to machines, I like the wear. I like the wear and tear. Every machine has a story to tell. You know, if you're playing something like Miss Pac-Man, especially where everything's joystick, you know, where do you put this other hand? Do you have a beverage in your hand? You doing this bit? I do like, you know, I like to fade right here. I read an article one time, someone talking about this kind of stuff, and like when I play Miss Pac-Man, I'll either hold high or I'll hold low, like this right here. It's just a...
So that's from, everybody.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, but what most people would do is they put it on the side. They put it on the side of the cab or up on the top on the side of the cab. And it's very common, especially with those older arcades where, you know, it was painted on, or, you know, even if there's a sticker, like that ink will eventually wear down. I hold low more than I do high, but yeah, that's just from literal decades of people hanging on to it and gripping it and whatnot. And I love that kind of thing on a machine, honestly. I'm not into complete restorations on cabs like this. You know, replacing T-molding is one thing, but you know, I don't want to get too much into like restoration. I'm not trying to make these things the prettiest possible. I'm not trying to sell them or anything like that. Basically with the, you know, because the government wants their cut. So they tag machines like this to go and collect their taxes on them. That's exactly what they do, which is why a lot of arcades nowadays, it's, you know, you pay to get in, usually $10, $15, and everything's on free play.
So we got these things back here, and it's a tight fit, but it's a fit nonetheless. My main concern is just driving down the road, and every bump I take, I'm just worried because some of the wood on the bottom of these things, you can tell they've been sitting in water, or there was at least water damaged at some point, and so they're flaky. I like the idea of restoring it, but at the same time, I kind of like the idea of just keeping the faded paint. It's just, you know that it's an original.
I like it too, but I was saying, like, if you get down to, you know, like this is actual wood, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not just a decal painted on, so replacing this side means you lose the art.
Please don't disintegrate on me back there, or please don't fall out. Let's just get home. Okay, so Got these 3 arcades. Now here's my question. They go into your apartment? Where are we taking these?
Well,
Which way is exit, right?
I think you could probably go either way and exit. That's a tight fit in here, isn't it? I don't know. I think I need a storage unit at this point because this now officially brings me to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 machines.
Where are the other ones?
All over the place.
Okay.
Literally all over the place. One's, my Tekken cab is still in my living room.
Wait, so we legitimately don't have a place to drop these off?
No. Does that surprise you? I mean, honestly, does it? We
No,
half-ass everything we do,
does
so
not.
why should this be any different?
That means they're going in my garage for the time being. So yeah, right now my arcade. I have an arcade in my garage. Unfortunately, none of them work perfectly.
Miss Pac-Man is one of my favorite arcade games of all time. It's a classic.
I'm not very good at it, but I love it. It's one of my favorite arcades of all time. Love it more than Mr. Pac-Man.
I like to challenge myself. I like to beat my own high score. My all-time high score on that, I think, is like 176,000. Now, this is with speed chip installed, and I've been playing with the speed chip installed, games with the speed chip installed so much that I don't think I could go back to playing it regular. I think the speed chip adds a certain level of challenge to it. All right. Kind of nervous about this, actually, because everything is like
Jerry rigged.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I hear something.
Chubb, was it the air conditioner from the neighbors that clicked on?
It might have been.
Okay. On any given day, I could probably rack up about 700,000 points on Miss Pac-Man. Don't give me that look. Yes, I could. All right. Well, yeah, I know you talked about this. Marquee's lighting up, but yeah, Jackie didn't put this on it. As it takes it.
And I'm absolutely in the business of buying broken machines because they're cheaper and sometimes they're pretty easy to fix. Son of a bitch.
All these things, all these buttons, and all these gizmos and gadgets and metal pieces that I have no idea what they do.
Now they do need a little bit of work. But if you can find premium cabs like this cheap, I say pick them up no matter the condition.
Somebody's gotta buy them.
I'm going to start collecting arcade machines. But Jay, why would you do that? Well, because I want to open up a barcade. So that is my goal right now. Yes, Jay is wanting to open a barcade. Jay is in the process of trying to do such thing. And one thing that Jay needs is arcade machines.
And I'm like, wow, that's kind of ambitious. Where are you getting the money for that? And he tells me he has investors, and I'm like, what's even going on anymore?
How serious am I about this business venture? Extremely serious, actually. I've reached out. I found some investors. I've got some of my own money in on this. I've been thinking about this for a while, a good 3-4 years at least. Decided I was going to do it. Talked to a few people. Found out people were willing to give me some money. They believe in me and the idea, so
this is going to be a pretty cool adventure. Going and finding arcades and building up this arcade and from total scratch. It's going to be a pretty cool adventure, I think.
Did you just fart? If I was able to walk into my own arcade, the feeling, it'd be like walking into my own personal game room, if you will, that I get to share with everybody. kind of thing. I think it'd be really awesome, you know, and when I get an idea in my head, I obsess over it, and I try to learn as much as I can about that thing, that business, that whatever it may be.
Having a friend that has an arcade, I get in for free, so hey, I'm all about that. Let's go get some arcades and make this thing awesome. I think I get in for free. I get in for free, right? I don't know.
Okay, there's power. I'm looking at a place currently. I have a place in mind that I want. I have looked at it. I love it. And we are at present, what date is it? Sometime in February, negotiating the contract on all of that. And hopefully I can walk you guys through my process of opening a arcade with a bar and kitchen in it, AKA a barcade. Oh, I'm a floating head, huh?
Hey, great day. I have an arcade in my garage now with the TMNT cab, which I think what I'm going to do with the TMT cab, it was going to be a project that I was going to, you know, restore or whatever. I think what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and let Jay keep it in his arcade. I think that's best for all because then everybody can enjoy it, right?
I mean, they don't work. It's the bottom line, but I knew that going in. There's almost nothing that can be fixed these days, so I'm gonna look for some videos and try not to electrocute myself and come back another day and see if we can't get something working. I had a couple of names in mind. I'm not sold on anything just yet. If you guys have a legit suggestion, put it in the comments, please. I'd like, you know, nothing with Chode. One name that I really liked, and for a minute it was the leader, was Flashback Arcade. I thought it would have been a great name, perfect name. And I started doing some research, found out there's one in Tennessee, in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And you know, they got a couple of 4,000 or 5,000 followers on their Facebook page, and I know if I don't know them, but out of professional courtesy, I wouldn't want somebody, you know, trying to get on my name, especially when I've built that kind of following, and you know, then you go, well, are you associated? Is that your Texas branch and this and that and blah blah blah. So I'm going to pass on that name.